So guys, we got some big news yesterday, and I like to discuss video game news. It excites me. I like to know what's going on in the video game space, so let's discuss. So yesterday they had a Bethesda Xbox roundtable where they discussed the future of Bethesda, the future of Xbox. So we pretty much got confirmation future Bethesda games will be exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. So if you have Game Pass on PC or Xbox, you have access to all the Bethesda games you could ever wish for. Also, if you have Game Pass today, by the way, they released like 20 games, 20 Bethesda games, all on Xbox Game Pass, which is just incredible. So this is the statement from Phil Spencer yesterday. I think it pretty much explains what's going to happen. I'll try to be clear as I can. Obviously, I cannot sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive, because we all know this is not true. There are contract obligations, existing games, and even in the future there might be a game with either a contract in place or legacy on a different platform that we'll go and do. Okay, so there might be potentially, the next Wolfenstein could be on PS5 potentially. Again, we don't really know, but any sort of new IP 100% is going to be Xbox Game Pass only. So Starfield, I would imagine, will not release on PS5, as far as I can tell, unless they come to some agreement where Game Pass goes on to PS5, which I cannot see ever happening myself. I can't see it. Anyway, but this is about delivering great exclusive games for you, Xbox customers that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. So that's PC, Xbox. That is the root of this partnership. So he's basically saying we spent 7.5 billion to get those games on Xbox, on Game Pass, and that's why we did it. Must admit, this does contradict with what Phil Spencer has said in the past. He's quoted as saying exclusives don't matter. We're focused on third party. We want this to be the best platform for you to game on, etc., etc. But obviously things change. PlayStation's had, I would say, the stronger exclusives for a very, very long time. Definitely the latter part of the PS3 era. And the whole of the PS4 era, I think PlayStation dominated in terms of quality of games, the amount of games. There's no denying, I think they won on that front. Game Pass and discussions like that, I'll leave up to you guys. Obviously, the Xbox One X was a more powerful console, etc., etc. But in terms of games, for example, last year we had Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII, exclusively on the PS4. Absolutely incredible year. And the whole of the Xbox generation, we had, I think, Horizon, Gears 5, Halo 5, Sunset Overdrive, and I think Ori. And that's it. There wasn't many games. That's where Game Pass, of course, started. And now we're getting a full focus on Game Pass. They want this to be the next Netflix, the gaming Netflix, which I completely get. Must admit though, this acquisition, if it is purely for Game Pass, 7.5 billion. That's a lot of money. That's crazy amounts of money. And I know they said they're going to release games day one on Game Pass, but can they really release a Starfield day one on Game Pass at the same price it is currently? I don't know, but I'm very intrigued to see what happens. Very intrigued indeed. I cannot wait for the first big Bethesda game, whether that's a Wolfenstein, a Starfield. What else are they bringing out? We don't really know, actually. It's been fairly quiet on the sort of Bethesda front, I guess. It's so weird. The next Bethesda game is going to come out on PS5 exclusively. It doesn't make any sense. What is happening to gaming currently? It's so intriguing. I'm so excited to see where this goes. I feel in a very lucky position. I have a Series X. I have a PS5. I'm very, very lucky. So I'm just excited for more games. That's all I want. I want Xbox to produce more exclusives. And this definitely answers that call. Gears 5 didn't quite hit for me. Halo 5 again, not quite good enough for me. Halo Infinite has to deliver this year, which again, that's another subject. Sunset Overdrive was underrated, in my opinion. Forza Horizon 4, incredible game. But yeah, there just wasn't enough on Xbox One. Even the hardcore Xbox fan has to admit, the Xbox One didn't quite deliver in terms of the amount of games and the quality of games, where PS4 was on the opposite spectrums. But this is a new generation, and Xbox is hitting this generation very hard. They're coming out to compete, and I respect that. But of course, if you have a PS4, PS5, and you have no plans to buy an Xbox, upgrade your PC, this is horrible news. This is horrible news. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It must hurt a little bit, because I'm sure every gamer has a Bethesda IP they like, that they're invested in. Wolfenstein, Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls. There has to be an IP you probably like. And now Xbox, by the way, is the king of RPGs. It really is. It's got Obsidian, which I absolutely love. They made New Vegas. I love Fallout New Vegas. Bethesda, of course, the king of RPGs. I cannot wait to see more on Starfield, more on the next Elder Scrolls. I can't wait for more info. We should hopefully get some more news around the summer, so June, July, August sort of time. We get more concrete news on the future release dates and stuff like that. People still believe Starfield is coming out this year. I've got more chance of winning the lottery, honestly. That's my honest opinion. I'd love for it to come out. There's not many games coming out that are set to release at the end of the year, so I'm all for it. I do have a few concerns. Will Game Pass go up in price? I mean, Xbox was going to just randomly double the price of Xbox Gold. That came out of absolutely nowhere. And obviously everyone was like, no, I don't want this. I'm not paying that price, blah, blah, blah. This is what PlayStation does. This is what Nintendo does. You're overpricing. What are you doing? And then they quickly went, no, okay, we'll leave it. We're fine. But Game Pass, there's no competition. There's no one to compete against. So they could rise the price slowly, maybe a couple of dollars each year, or just do a big price jump. I'm expecting something to happen in the next year and a half, or something like that. Could Xbox make the games timed exclusives? I don't know about you guys, but for example, Final Fantasy VII, I'm not going to wait to play it on Xbox. I want to play it as soon as possible. So of course I'm going to play it on PS4 or whatever. I think timed exclusives are a big deal. If they release maybe Starfield on PS5 a year, 2 years after launch, the buzz is gone, but they can still make some decent money. $70 for each copy sold on PS5. Why not do that? That could happen, potentially. What do you guys, if you guys are Xbox fans, how would you feel about that? I think timed exclusives are actually a little bit underrated. I know people are like, I'm just going to wait a year. A year's a long time. A year's a really long time, especially in the video game space. People move on. So that's a potential route for Xbox. Again, we don't really know how it's going to work with... They did mention legacy titles. Does that mean the next Doom might be on PS5? The next Wolfenstein? 100% no. Starfield, the next Elder Scrolls, for example, will not be on PS5. At least day one. There's no debating though that there's going to be a lot of PS5s. There's a lot of revenue that could happen on the PS5 side. So it's up to Phil Spencer. It depends on how he wants to approach it. He's been moaned at for years about the lack of exclusives. So this is his way of going, yo, enjoy, enjoy. Yeah. I don't know how I feel. I do feel very, very lucky to be in the fortunate position to have both of the consoles, and that's probably changing my arguments a little bit. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. I think it's quite well known that I do side with PlayStation a little bit. I love their games. I love their exclusives. I mean, God of War, Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima. They produce games that I just love. I love so much. Of course, I love the Halos, but they haven't quite delivered recently. The same with Gears titles. They're not quite the same for me. Love Forza. I love Xbox, especially my 360. Back in the day, 360 and my PS3, I was a buzzing. I was a happy boy. But yeah, that's where I sit. Let me know in the comments. Be honest. If you're an Xbox fan, how do you feel? If you're a PS4, PS5 fan, how do you feel? Leave your comments below. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. Try to be as unbiased as possible. I'm always going to be a little bit biased towards PlayStation. That's what I grew up playing. They make games I like, and I can't just put that to one side. That's honestly how I feel. I just love video games. I love playing on PC. I love playing on my consoles. That's just me being honest. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Press the like button, and